Well, I'm still here in Charlotte for another few days, another couple of days, I guess, till Tuesday. I'll be flying home. And so, again, we will continue to have sporadic YouTube videos here. We only had one yesterday, one today. Tomorrow, I think we will have morning and night with Larry Goldberg in the evening. Tuesday, very dicey. And then on Wednesday, back to normal, assuming I can get up in the morning. That'll be a big question because it's so much harder going that direction. Anyway, we'll find a way, and maybe I'll be a little late the first day, and maybe you'll forgive me for that. All right, what's going on? Oh, well, number one, according to Fox News, the Senate has got an agreement. They do have a deal. They're going to reopen the government. So we'll talk about that more in a minute. So let's go with Tesla news first. Of course, as always, Mario Nawfal says that the Boring Company loop with those cars underneath in the tunnels scores 99.51 on the Department of Homeland Security safety test. The Vegas tunnel system earns the highest safety rating ever given to any transit system. The Department of Homeland Security calls Elon's underground loop gold standard territory. Tazarati says that Tesla is now testing a rental program starting at $60 a day, but you can only rent the cars for 1 week. However, there are some additional perks that make it a really good deal, including free supercharging and free self-driving supervised for the duration of the rental. There's no limit on the mileage or charging, but the terms do not allow you to leave the state where you are renting it. And so far, it's only in a couple of communities. I'll get to that in a minute. Tesla wrote on an email advertising the program, rent a Tesla and see how it makes every errand, every commute, and road trip more fun. While it's yours, try full self-driving, supervised, and control and monitor your vehicle with the Tesla app. Schedule your rental for 3 to 7 days, starting at $60 a day, so don't know what the other ones cost, and charge for free at any Tesla-owned supercharger. Order your own Tesla. Within 7 days of your rental, you get a $250 credit towards the purchase. Tesla has long adopted the mentality that butts in seats will sell cars. And for the most part, it is a great strategy. Driving a Tesla is different from owning and driving a combustion engine vehicle or any other vehicle, not even comparative. It truly feels like you are back in a car from the past when you get back into a nice car. This strategy can be looked at as more of a way for people to experience Tesla ownership than anything else. Although some might use it as a typical rental program, that will see it be a cool way to drive without putting miles on a personal car. Tesla's only offering this program at a handful of locations. Right now, it's San Diego and Costa Mesa, California. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. Some of you have not yet bought the book. Some of you are saying, hey, Randy, in Canada, the UK, Australia, etc., we can't get the audio yet. I've finally figured that out. It might take another week or so. Not exactly sure what day that'll be available. I got to do some more checking on that tomorrow, but it's sounding like it's going to be another week or so, but they will be coming to those locations. And for the rest of you, no excuse. So, and where are the reviews? For those who've read it, please go to Amazon and do your reviews. All right, as predicted by very, very many people, the Senate has reached an agreement on reopening the government. When? Right after the elections, right after those 3 states, or I guess there were some elections in Pennsylvania. Right after those elections is when people said, yep, that's when they're going to do it. So just understand that this was not about the Republicans at all. This was the Democrats believing that if they did their No King's Day, and then they came around and they had the elections, and the whole thing was done while the government was shut down, that overall this was going to be to their benefit during those elections. So whatever inconvenience you might have suffered, if your flight got canceled or your SNAP payments aren't coming, or only partially or whatever, just remember this was a political move by the Democrats on a continuing resolution that they're now going to agree to pass. Okay, since we have now gotten halfway through the quarter and we've suffered 37 days of a government shutdown, Besant is saying that this quarter it might take a 50% hit to GDP growth that was expected. On November 15th, we'll get the next GDP Now numbers, but we might be looking at something like slightly over 1% if Besson is right, as opposed to the 4%, 3.5% that many were thinking would be the case. However, all of that activity doesn't go away 100%. Some of it will, but some of it will just be delayed. And this could mean a way better than expected quarter one. The markets will, of course pop tonight, tomorrow, sometime, if this agreement is definite and we can see the vote. And by the way, you also remember this in February, March, when people start getting their refunds back. This is going to be a huge stimulus. And you also have the president suggesting has finally decided on a number. He wants to do a $2,000 check to every taxpayer in the country as a way to mitigate against the increased costs that have been caused by the tariffs. I don't know whether I like this idea or not, quite frankly. I'm having trouble because it's going to be very stimulative. I'm not sure we need the stimulation. I understand his reasoning is, yeah, we all agree that there is a small amount of money that is passing through to the consumer, and if that's $2,000 on average, then getting the $2,000 would be a way to replace that. Kind of like saying, okay, we gave you some amount of tax through the tariffs, and now we're going to pay you back for that and get a huge benefit to the country for the difference. Anyway, all of this economic activity, some of it's going to come back. We might have a great January. I don't, because of the refunds being higher. I mean, a lot higher because people have not been taking out as much money as or they have been taking out the normal amount of money from their checks, and they're going to pay way less tax this year if they have tips, or if they're working overtime, or if they're old like me. Tuesday, Veterans Day. Nothing going on except for Fed Governor Michael Barr will speak. And we also have the NFIB Optimism Index, one of my favorites. So Veterans Day on Monday, I'm sorry, that's Tuesday, nothing on Monday. And then on Tuesday, only the NFIB Optimism Index, no stock market, no, yeah, that's how it's going to be. Wednesday, we've got a whole bunch of Fed governors and presidents and all kinds of people speaking that day, and that's all there is. Thursday, we might, if we get the government open in time, we might get initial jobless claims. And after that, we might get the consumer price index. And then we might get all the rest of the stuff that goes with that, core CPI, CPI year over year, etc. What do I think that's all going to look like? Well, if I look at trueflation, it should all be somewhere around 2.5. That's where it should be. But I think it's going to probably be 2.8 or 2.9, something up in that area. Get more presidents and governors speaking on Thursday. And then on Friday, we get U.S. retail sales. Maybe. All these are maybe. Retail sales minus autos, producer price index, core PPI, PPI year over year, et cetera, business inventories. We get all of that on Friday. Now, there's a bunch of reports that have been delayed. Okay, like on Friday, we didn't get the government numbers for employment or unemployment, or however you want to look at it. So those someday next week probably come out. Maybe it'll be Friday, maybe it'll be Thursday, who knows? But we're going to get those probably, I'm going to say, maybe this next week. And then there's a whole bunch of other numbers that we were supposed to get that we didn't get. And so we'll see if those show up exactly when. So it could be an extremely busy week in terms of economic statistics. We're just going to have to wait and see. Okay, it is that time. So we're going to start with what Tesla is doing in the overnight right now. And we're at 435.83. 435.83. We closed at 429. So 435.83, that would be a very nice bump. So 429.52 to 435.84. And so it's going up, not much, but a little bit. So that's what Tesla's looking at right now. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of the stock market and the bond market and all that jazz. Here we go. So we got bonds. We got the bonds up 3.7% to 4.13. Sheesh. Okay, we've got we've got oil up 19 cents. 18 cents now, 59.93. We've got natural gas way up, 3.13% at $4.45. Watch out for your heating bills. It's maybe going to be a little rough this winter. Mr. Trump, President Trump, please do something about the natural gas prices. Gold is up 1680, back over 4,000, 4,026. Silver is trying to get back over 50 again, sitting at 48.47, up 0.68%. And copper is trying to get back over $5, sitting almost there, $4.99, up 0.63. The dollar is mixed. The Bitcoin is up 4403, so back up to 106502. Obviously, still way off of where it has been just in recent weeks. And Ethereum is up 7.21% in the pre-market at 3640. So that's pretty strong. Okay, what about the equities? All up nicely. We've got the Dow up 0.26%, S&P up 0.43%, and the NASDAQ up 0.64. All right, so as I mentioned, there's not really much to report on what I've done in the past here. I'm not going to put up any cards. And tomorrow, probably almost 100%, you'll have the morning show. And 90% you'll have Larry Goldberg in the afternoon, or maybe some alternative. We will not have Brian White tomorrow or Tuesday. And I will be flying on Tuesday, so I have no idea what's going to happen on Tuesday. All right, and back to normal. On Wednesday, we'll go back one more time and see if Tesla is moving. Oops, right the same. All right, that's all I got for you right now. Please let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about as far as whether I'm going to be right or not on Wednesday that Tesla is back to 488, 480, which was their closing high, 488, which was the interday high, or even 500 by Wednesday, after the market has had a chance to digest what they heard at the show at the event last Thursday. So I'm saying on Wednesday, we should be back to all-time high, whatever that means. And I'm saying so it's a minimum of 480. That's a pretty good get from 435, but I think we'll get there. All right, that's all I got for you right now. It has been great talking to you.